everyone. This is Fallon, the co-director and creator of Instability, and today I'm here with Farron. Farron, what's your role on Instability?
Social media. I took a lot of pictures and videos on set, and I have a role later on in the show. Hopefully, if when we get funded.
You do have the role.
Yeah, I know I
We
do.
just
I
don't
got
know when you're
cast,
going to
but
play it.
yeah, exactly.
It's yours.
It is. Yes.
Yeah. How was being the social media coordinator, though?
It was super fun. It was a new experience for me. All of this is extremely new to me. So, but it was just I've always loved like taking pictures at gatherings and stuff like that. So it was really fun. Really, just kind of hanging out.
Yeah. If does it make you feel better that it was new to me too? I'd never done this
Yes.
before. Okay.
Yeah.
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 I've never done
For
it.
sure.
Um, you got like behind things to take
I
photos.
did. That was awesome.
You were like behind the chair. We have a photo of you behind the
Yeah,
chair.
behind the chair
I
with
don't
my.
know who took it, but they took it, and it was amazing. You
That
would do
was probably
anything for the shot.
anything for the shot. Yeah.
We're gonna miss you next time this summer. I know you've moved away.
I have, yeah.
Do you want to talk about why?
November 6th, 2024 happened. Wisconsin is not the most accepting state. I'm pretty sure that he won Wisconsin, so yeah,
Yeah, it
it
doesn't make any
just
sense, but
immediately we were just fight or flight mode and flight. And Illinois, shout out to JB Pritzker. So yeah, for especially sticking up for the trans community in particular.
absolutely.
Yeah,
Wisconsin's complicated because we do have Tony Evers,
yeah,
but we also
but a GOP
it's
House of
yeah.
Representatives that block his every move.
Yeah,
So yeah.
and it's not necessarily safe here. I live in a more safe area.
Oh yeah, Appleton is a sanctuary city.
Yeah.
Yeah,
Oh, not for trans people yet. They're working on it.
they're working on. They
They're
are working on it, and
Hate
that's
free out of gaming. Shout out to you.
yes.
We appreciate you.
Hate free out of gamey.
So they're working on that. So hopefully that gets done. This is a queer production, so like that felt like a good environment to be on, right?
Oh, absolutely.
Yeah.
Yeah.
So like, and how would you describe it to
Um,
somebody else?
it just felt everybody immediately felt so like I didn't know hardly anybody there. I was meeting everybody, almost everybody, for the first time, and it was just so like just dropping into an old friend group is what it felt like, and um, we were there to do a job, but it was fun.
Yeah, it
It
was a
was
lot of
fun.
fun.
It was crazy. Lots of jokes. Lots of just laughing and serious when it needed to be serious. And I think being an LGBTQ plus production really helped with that welcoming atmosphere. I think everybody there could feel that welcoming atmosphere, whether they were, part of the community or not. Because I know there were a couple of yeah.
I think we have at least one token straight.
You one token straight, yeah.
At least one.
At least one.
I know for sure we have one because I asked him to check something for me because I
Oh.
wanted to make sure that straight people wouldn't know what it was. And he didn't know what it was.
Nice.
So.
Always helpful. Always helpful.
Do you have a favorite memory on set?
Yeah, probably climbing behind the chair or into the windows at Mims to get.
I forgot about the windows.
Yeah, I got up on the fucking windowsills like full on gremlin mode, getting pictures.
I'm glad you had such a great time.
Oh no, yeah,
that was such a stressful day for me learning what I was doing.
yeah, no, Mims was a blast. Mims from beginning to end was a blast. But yeah, climbing into the window to get photos or. Oh man, now I'm blanking on her name, and I'm really really sorry because she was such a lovely lovely person. She was the waitress.
Oh, Amy.
Amy.
She plays Melissa.
Yes, she plays Melissa. Amy, I'm friends with her on Facebook. I'm so sorry I blanked on your name. I'm very nervous.
It happens on camera.
Yeah.
We also have it front facing, which isn't helpful. It is helpful to me though because I have issues with storage.
That's
so
fair.
I'm so sorry.
Yeah.
To make you more nervous.
Oh, don't worry about it.
We mentioned it before, but you play a character in the show, Alex.
Mhm.
All right, sorry, that's not a question. I'm just informing the audience.
Yeah.
There's not much we can really say about Alex without spoilers. What are you most excited about with playing the character, though?
Alex just from the get go seemed like a really really cool person. I really loved that they were a non-binary person. I'm an agender person myself. So I was really excited to have an opportunity to play someone whose identity more or less fell in with my own. Um, they seemed really cool, really laid back, um, and also kind of wise. Like they seemed like they had answers to questions that I think some of the audience might have watching it, especially if you're not really in the scene, the LGBTQ or other scenes that I don't know if it's spoiler to say the polyamory scene. So yeah,
We could say polyamory. We just won't say what the plot of getting there is.
right, yeah, yeah. No, Alex is non-binary and polyamorous and knows a lot about both of those lived experiences, and I know a little bit about the non-binary experience, but not a whole lot about the polyamorous side. But it just seemed like a really fun opportunity to play someone who seemed really cool and be able to inform at the same time.
And don't worry, our beta readers, some of them are polyamorous, so they were able to help with fixing anything that I got wrong when I wrote it.
Yeah.
Was this your first experience on a set?
On a filming set, yes. I had been in some like school plays and things like that. I was in a couple in high school. So on a set, yes. On a set, no, not my first time, but on a filming set with a camera crew and sound and all of that, that was an entirely brand new experience.
So that was really the big difference was like the camera sound
Yeah,
lights. Was
that
there any
yeah.
other big differences?
Um, I would guess multiple takes because when you're doing a play, like yeah, you have your rehearsals and that's when you do the multiple takes. But filming, it's all you've like maybe practiced your lines in the mirror or with a partner or whatever, but you get to do multiple takes as opposed to just here's the performance and it's over.
Yeah, there's a little bit more room for error, I
Yeah,
suppose.
yeah, lots.
What drew you to filmmaking?
I honestly, I think the TV raised me. So like I was, I was always in front of a TV, watching a movie, watching a TV show. Voice acting is was something that came to me as I want to do that, and acting is just part of that. So you know, you take acting classes, or whatever you practice acting, you practice improv and all of that. So yeah, I just knew from a really young age. I was like, that looks and sounds really fun, and I want to do that.
Yeah, no,
Yeah.
that's impressive. I didn't think that way watching all the shows and movies I loved growing up, and like I mostly fell in love with sitcoms as an
Oh
adult.
yeah.
But I never really thought about like, hey, I want to like work on one of these. I just enjoyed them.
Hmm.
And then all of a sudden I was like, let me write one.
Oh
And
yeah. No, I'm autistic. So as an autistic child, it was I was fascinated by the process of making the things that I loved watching. So when in the advent of DVDs with bonus features and the internet, where you could see blooper reels and uh, just production diaries and things like that, I was obsessed. That was my absolute favorite part of getting a DVD or something for Christmas.
oh, that is yeah, that's true. Like I think one of the DVD like extras I remember the most is Shrek 2.
Yeah, yeah.
I loved Shrek 2. I loved the karaoke.
The karaoke
Or
was
was it no, it
fantastic.
wasn't was it American Idol?
Far, far away idol.
Yeah.
Yeah,
That was
they got
so
Simon Cowell
funny. Yeah,
and everything. Yeah, no, that was wonderful.
absolutely. Okay, and then with that, with like the shows and movies you grew up on, were there any like actors or directors that you like dreamed of working with one day?
um, Probably Robin Williams as a kid. I the Disney films, you know, were obviously a huge part of my life as a child. I think, and into adulthood. So, Robin Williams in Aladdin was like the moment where it was like, yeah, that's something I would love to do. His performance, his personality comes through even in an animated character because of how he uses his voice and his body in his acting. And then followed his stand up, and um, later on down the line, I became a fan of Kevin Smith's movies and watched all of the things that he would do, like the tours he would go on where he would do Q&As with audiences, and it's just getting the little peek behind the veil was always so fascinating to me. And Kevin Smith is a really like sort of everyday kind of guy, so it felt like, well, if this dude could do it, then why not me? Why not anybody?
It's kind of like true.
Yeah,
Like we can all do it.
yeah.
I did recently learn though that a huge obstacle in Wisconsin, and I learned this at my last interview with the actress that plays Hannah
Oh,
Bailey. Um, Wisconsin is not does not have tax credits for filmmakers.
Right.
So that's like hard, and then hard
Yeah.
to convince production companies to let you film here.
Yeah, that's why a lot of productions are in like Georgia and things like that because
Yep.
Georgia gives massive tax breaks if you're making a movie or a TV show there.
I didn't know that.
Yeah.
It's so much so interesting to learn this stuff. I didn't know like just coming into this.
Yeah.
I'm just like, oh, I knew that they were filming in Atlanta a lot. I just didn't
Oh
know they
yeah.
got massive tax
Right.
breaks.
Like that Corey from Stranger Things, that's that same exact Corey from season 1 of The Walking Dead because they both filmed in Georgia.
I see.
Yeah.
I did not know that.
Yeah.
Another interesting fact about Stranger Things, just because I like you brought it up, and I just love this little note. I think it's from season 2.
Mm.
They're in the like junkyard. Dustin is wearing a shirt that says Wapaka.
Yeah, the Wapaka shirt. I know the first time I saw that I was like, what the hell?
And that is where I just filmed the last interview with Bailey
Oh
in
wow.
Wapaka. So
I mean, they
that's
are.
Wapaka.
Hawkins is in Indiana, and
Yeah,
Indiana
it's
is
not that far.
not that far. So like it made sense, but it was still like, holy shit, shout out to a little
I
Wisconsin
had to
town.
know. I was so curious. I wanted to find out how they had that shirt, like
Yeah.
what the lore was, like why, like did the costume designer like film in Wisconsin? Did the costume designer from Wisconsin? Like I
Right.
wanted to know.
Right.
I never found out. I got to do more
More
research.
research, yeah.
So, and then what drew you to instability?
I have been trying to get myself out there for a while. It's been tough with limited income and limited time. Um, but a friend of mine who works on the show said, "Hey, my friend is making a TV show, hoping to film a pilot. They're looking to cast. Here's the casting call." And I went for it immediately because it was that LGBTQ plus space. And I thought, man, if I can get in here, then who knows what'll happen in the future.
Yeah.
Yeah.
Um, yeah, and I remember watching your audition and being very impressed that you knew all, like you didn't have to look down at
Oh
anything, and
yeah,
you
no,
were
I
so quick
was.
with the lines. You had someone running it with you. I was like, holy crap!
I've watched a lot of audition videos of actor audition videos.
I was
So
like, oh my
yeah, I
god,
was like, I gotta have this memorized. I gotta have someone. I gotta have a partner read the opposite lines. I gotta have someone to act off of. So yeah, I
you did
needed.
great.
Thank you.
You
Thank
did
you.
awesome.
I must have because I got a role. So
Well, and what drew you to the role of Alex? I know we kind of already talked about it, but maybe we can talk about it just a little bit more.
yeah, Alex just seemed really cool.
Really cool.
Really
And
cool.
them being non-binary was a big thing for you.
Yes.
And we talked about a little bit how you're agender. Do you want to talk a little bit about what that's like for you or how it has been?
Uh, it's been it's been a really long like I'm I'm approaching 40.
Hmm.
Uh, and growing up, there weren't really words for anything that we have now. I didn't even know bisexual was a thing. Trans was, of course, out of the question. So, like, I grew up having like a girl crush on an actor or whatever, and just being the tomboy or you know. So, in my 30s was when I started learning these terms and exploring them and being around, and that was also when I was really on like social media and things, and meeting other LGBTQ plus people from around the country and around the world made me kind of go, okay, so that experience and that experience and that experience, those weren't cis, those weren't straight. So it took some like introspection. I came out as bi first, um, and then a few years later, I was like, I'm not a girl, but I don't really feel like a guy, but I kind of want to be a little bit more mask. And the finding the term agender was the light switch, and I was like, that's me right there. Um, but I was very femme presenting. My voice was very high, very femme, and I said something has to happen here where I don't get mistaken for, someone of the wrong gender. Um, so in 2021, I started testosterone, and that's been wild. Going through a second puberty in my 30s, close to my 40s, has been an unbelievably weird experience. But I wouldn't do it. The only thing I do differently is doing it sooner.
Absolutely.
I
And
wish in the '90s that I had this terminology.
yeah, it should be more known, more educated on, and definitely not stopped by the government.
Yeah.
And I don't think I really need to say this being a queer production, but fuck Donald Trump.
FDT.
We don't like him.
8647.
So, do what you can, like protest, sign the petition for the trans sanctuary in Outagamie County if you live here.
Yes.
Um, you can sign up to work with them. They're very cool. They were just at a metal show last weekend that I was at.
Oh wow.
The metal show actually, this is fun because like we could connect it all back to instability. The metal show, the band I went to go see is called I Rose from the Dead.
Oh
He,
wow.
our actor who plays Zayden Colden, is the drummer of that band, and that is why I was there.
That's incredible.
So, but Hate Free Out Gaming was there. I spoke with them. I signed up to be on the list. They're very helpful with a lot of things. They organize a lot of things. Do what you can. Call representatives. Protest. Make a stink. Educate people. Whatever you got to do.
And do it safely.
Yeah, safely.
Safely, please and thank you.
If you're gonna be reckless, don't tell me about it.
Right. Be gay, do crimes, but be safe.
I didn't hear it. Allegedly. Well, back to the show because let's not give that ugly man any more of our time.
Of course.
What do you want the audience to know about instability as a whole?
It's going to be incredible. It's going to be unlike anything I think that's going to be on TV at any given time. There's a lot of stuff that like nowadays there's things that delve into the queer experience, and yes, this is another one of them. But I think it's focusing on someone who's learning as they go and is also going to be learning with the audience. I think is really really important, not just for queer people and for for everybody, for queer people, for cis people, for straight people, um, for people who may not, like me, may not have certain terminology yet to figure out who exactly they are,
Mm-hmm.
who might be feeling some sort of way. So I think that it's gonna be a really really great opportunity for a lot of people.
Yeah, I. It helps when the script is actually written by a queer person.
Yeah, that does help a whole lot.
The straight people writing the queer stories. It never really. It doesn't really work.
It's getting better. It's getting better. I think there's more like queer like consultants on shows that center around queer themes, but yeah, it's still a big lot of cishet people writing queer characters, and
I think another thing with the polyamory is that a lot of monogamous people are writing those characters.
yeah, that too.
And I don't think they have very good consults because I really like this show called Good Trouble. And there was a polyamorous couple, and I don't know. I didn't feel like it was very realistic to what I have seen with like healthy polyamorous
Right.
people.
Right. I think we've all seen some pretty messy polyamory situations.
Yeah, and then like that's true of real life too, and I'm like I'm gonna write that too, but that's part of the learning process.
Yeah, exactly. It's part of the learning process.
Yeah.
You learn about your boundaries and you learn about what you're okay with and what
Yeah.
other people are okay with and how to make those two kind of click.
Yes, exactly.
Yeah.
So I think that's all the questions I have written out. Is there anything else you'd like to talk about with the audience that will look at this or who will see the show one day?
I really hope that you do see the show, and I hope that you watch every single episode, including mine.
Yes. So right now, we finally have somewhat of an idea of when the show will come out. It'll be this November.
Yeah.
We are hoping to throw a premiere party in November, and then I'm thinking the week after that we'll release on YouTube, and then we'll probably have a trailer out earlier. And that's just the pilot. I'm so sorry. I wish we could do more. We're filming episode 2 this summer, but we're probably not going to rush releasing it because I'm going to start a Kickstarter to hopefully fund doing the rest of the show.
Hell yeah.
Not the whole show, the season 1.
Right.
So we'll see what we can get done. If you want to donate, we have a GoFundMe right now. And the Kickstarter is in progress. I'm working on figuring out how much money we would need to make it to pull it off. So it's going to
Right.
be a minute.
Right. Budgeting is always
Yeah.
from what I understand, it's always pretty tough.
Yeah, there's a lot of work that goes behind the scenes.
Yeah.
I probably won't be compensated for most of my work, but that's okay because I want to get it done. I don't care.
Yeah, yeah. That's if your heart's in it, that's all that really matters.
Yeah.
You just got to be passionate about it.
Absolutely. And I hope you all enjoy these interviews. We're going to keep doing them. We're going to keep trying to make more content, and hopefully you'll come to see the show in November.